So I just got caught up on Severance Season 2, Episode 4. One of the best hours of television I think I've ever seen. It gave me chills, like Game of Thrones used to, like Succession used to. There is so much that happened in this episode, so from here on out, we're talking spoilers. I don't even know where to begin because everyone says the same thing about Severance, like it just blows your mind. But it does. We learn in episode 4 that Mr. Milchek takes the MDR team, Dylan, Mark, Helly, and Irving. They're all there on this work retreat, a team building exercise. Like they're out in the wilderness. They've all got the fur coats on, the hats. They looked great. And they see these kind of doubles of themselves, clones, twins. We're not quite sure what's going on, but they're pointing them in the direction that they need to go. There is one for Mark, there is one for Helly, there is one for Dylan, but not for Irving. The gist of the story in episode 4 is that the rumours are right. It's not actually Helly, it's Helena. And Irving knows, he's figured it out. The group come across this dead seal, and we saw Irving's dad was in the Navy, was a Navy SEAL. And Irving had the uniform and the medals as well. So is Irving a former Navy SEAL? Is this foreshadowing? I got chills when this clicked in my head. Mark and Helly, who he thinks is Helly, who is really Helena, they have sex, and that is a lot to unpack. There's a lot of consent issues here. It's very messy, it's very complicated. And in the middle, Mark has this glitch where he sees his wife / Miss Casey. Everything then comes to a crescendo in this episode where Irving goes out into the wilderness and he has this dream, and he sees the desks, he sees Bert, and then he sees this screen and it looks like lots of letters and numbers, and it looks like it might be spelling out the word Egan. When Irv wakes up, he puts 2 and 2 together. He realises he's onto something. That is not Helly. It's actually Helena, and she's an Egan. Crazy shit is going down here. This family are doing weird stuff. They have the power, and this is very dangerous for the severed people. Irving is okay, let me test this theory. I think I've figured this out. I don't think she's real. I think there's been a switch. This was the giveaway. The night before, in the tents. Oh my God, okay, shout out to Britt Lower, first of all. Emmys are coming calling. This moment, oh, it was so good. The way that she changes her expression ever so slightly, the light goes out of her eyes and you know it's Helena. Well, Irv has come to the same realisation and he says, you're not Helly. Helly would never be that cruel. And he plunges her into the water and everyone is freaking out, what's going on? Oh my God. We got a bit of a foreshadowing moment. Do you remember the little sort of animatronic figurines? Well, we had Helly bobbing for a pineapple. I don't know what bobbing for pineapples means, but I think it means something in this context. So Irving is holding Helena under the water and Mr. Milchek gets on the radio and he's okay, remove the Glasgow block. Basically make the switch, put her back, bring Helly back. And she comes to, the switch happens and she wakes up in Irv's arms. And he did this for her knowing she's an Egan. There's going to be consequences. And that dead seal, it was foreshadowing. Mr. Milchek is saying to Irving, your self as you know it right now, your innie, will cease to exist. So Irving sacrificed himself for Helly. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm speechless. This show is so good at making you question everything. It is so unsettling. There is a malignancy hovering over everyone. It throws up issues of free will, of consent. It's just a mindfuck. And there's so much more to being severed than meets the eye, than you might have thought going into it. You're not just giving up your memories of your outside life, but you're giving up the ability to consent. It's the lumen overlords controlling everything. You're at their mercy. And episode 5, Mark's going to have to explain to Helly what's just happened to Irving. It's going to totally change Mark's relationship with the whole team, but also with Helly in particular. Honestly, I'm just speechless. Like, Severance is that show. Like, it is. It's so good. It's such a clever show. I feel like you really have to focus to understand everything because everything is so intentional. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? How does this all connect? But as we're seeing, when things start to come together, everything is so intentional. It's a fucking smart show. Excellently written, brilliant acting, everything is spectacular. Episode 5 airs on Friday, and that will mark the midway point of season 2. But Ben Stiller, who executive produces the show, has said that they are moving into season 3. So we haven't had an official announcement, but that is something to look forward to. But yeah, if you're not watching Severance, catch up on season 1 and season 2 episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's so good.